Gratitude Day.
Happy Gratitude Day.
I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you too.
We're grateful for you. I see you in there. I see you. Here. We are celebrating our beautiful day of gratitude.
Attitude of gratitude
By resting. I've had a very restful morning.
Rest.
I was like, ooh, should we do coffee? Yeah, coffee is perfect for Thanksgiving. And it's every day. I do coffee every day, but for some reason I was more grateful for it today than ever.
True that.
What are we going to talk about today, Todd?
Whatever we want.
Oops, let's do our CBT cards. Those seem to be doing really well.
Hey, we got a watcher.
Hello, Eileen.
Eileen, happy Thanksgiving.
Let's do this. Maybe we got to pick a card for Eileen, specifically just for Eileen. Let's see. What do we got here? We want to do one of these?
Sure.
Let's do a instant happiness card just for Eileen.
Just for Eileen. Just for Eileen.
Just for Eileen.
What would Eileen pick?
What would Eileen pick? What would she pick? Oh, we did not see. We keep picking this.
That's because they're stuck in the middle of the deck.
I know. It's my fault. Yeah.
I think we did that one.
Yeah. It's this one. Ooh, this is a good one.
Ooh. Well, I got something for you, Eileen.
Don't you want to know?
Don't you want to know what's on this card? Huh? Here, I'll do a magic trick. See if I can do it. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. That's called slow motion magic.
It's a small card. I was afraid I was going to drop it.
Ooh.
Ooh. Ooh. Do it again. Ooh. Right there.
Magic trick. Ooh.
Right
Yeah, we're silly this thing's.
We're silly.
And if you pop, everybody pops on, please say hi to us.
Everybody pop on, please say hi. Everybody pop on, please
say hi.
Okay, the card says stop wanting, start having.
Mm-hmm.
When you want something, it presupposes that you don't have it.
It's Morgan. Hi, Morgan. It was so good to see you at CYL. What's up, girlfriend?
Hi, Morgan. When you want something, it presupposes that you don't have it, that you lack it in some way. This is fine and often true, but be careful that you don't become familiar with the feeling of wanting. If that happens, the mind stops us having what we want, so we can continue having the familiar feeling of wanting. Or even worse, we get what we want and find it to be unsatisfying, returning us to the familiar feeling of wanting. An alternative is to, you guessed it, feel how you'll feel when you've got what you want. The thing, the person, the situation, the skills, the experience. You'll let go of the feeling of wanting and become familiar with the feeling of having. And that is stop wanting, start having. So it's kind of Abraham Hicks 101, but it's very concisely stated. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think it's very well stated.
Yes. Attitude of gratitude. Live in our bliss, y'all.
Attitude of gratitude.
That's right. Stop whining, start having. Yes, please. I love it. Yeah. And so sometimes when we
stop whining, start having.
Well, I mean, sometimes I don't know if we want to say that necessarily.
Well, I'm saying it for me.
You're saying it for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, sometimes I need
to
go that direction.
Stop complaining and
start taking the steps.
Yeah.
Taking actionable steps. So for me, when I notice that, and this is cool because we do this in our course, there's something called Ericksonian language patterns, like I've mentioned before. And what it does is it helps us to find a middle ground, find an in-between spot in our thinking, because things can be too positive. It's like, oh, well, I already have $1 million in my bank, versus I don't have $1 million in my bank, right? So we find that middle ground, because the too positive isn't realistic and the too negative is just too negative. We're never going to, get what we want if we stay stuck in that place. So we find that middle balancing act by saying something like, I'm looking forward to that. I'm enjoying the possibilities of those things coming to me. I like the idea of what I will feel like when those things come to me. And I like feeling good. And as I feel good, I can feel even better than that. And how enjoyable is it that I'll start to feel those feelings come in more naturally, more easily, more effortlessly. And I like feeling gratitude of that thing coming to me. It just feels so easy and effortless.
Yeah.
And I like when things feel easy. So we can, stop wanting and start having. It's in what it's saying here is start having those feelings already. But sometimes we can't get to that because our mind's saying, yeah, but I don't have that thing. And instead, we want to start saying, well, what do you have? And let's get super gratitude going for that.
And you can get, go. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Janice.
Janice.
Hi. Yay. Grateful for you, Janice. Loving you. Happy days. Very good.
Yeah. And remember from previous episodes, the yeah, but should be when you hear yourself say, yeah, but you know, you're instantly in ego.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's putting up that excuse to, well, but wait, there's a reason I shouldn't be feeling happy, joyous, and free, or
right.
Excited, present,
yeah,
the feeling of having it.
Super gratitude, yes. Oh, let's see what Morgan's got to say. Ooh, that is so key. This is such an important element, not taught often. So thankful for this clarity. You guys rock. You rock, girlfriend. So good to know you. It's so fun to just find that balance and get going with the things that you want. And you know what? Todd does this very often. And because we don't know what we need, we can say, oh, well, I want that thing or whatever. What he does is he'll say, God, give us what you want us to have. Universe, spirit, whatever. Give us what you want us to have. What do you say? What are some of the things that you say? Bless it or block it.
Oh gosh.
Put him on the spot.
I'm on the spot.
Oh my God.
I don't know what to say. I get shy in front of the camera.
You're so silly.
What do I say?
It's really just, what do you want from me?
What is it you would have me do? What is it you would have me say?
Mm-hmm.
I give my mind to God today, things like that. Be my interpreter. Mm-hmm. Holy Spirit, be my interpreter. Mm-hmm. So it just helps me to remember and to condition me day after day to not go to default, which is the ego. Mm-hmm. Like Marianne Williamson says, what do you do every night before bed? You plug your phone in, right? Mm-hmm. You plug your phone in, so you wake up with a charge. Well, it's the same thing as like talking to God or the Holy Spirit. Or universe, yeah, source. When you go to bed and when you wake up, I give the day now over to the Holy Spirit. Right. I give, and as soon as I wake up, I give it right back to the Holy Spirit. So, and it may not be a massive difference in the quality of the day or what happens or what shows up, but I do notice fewer valleys. If something needs to come up that's not super positive, I'm less likely to be reactive to it. Yeah. For example. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I do that I notice when he does that is he'll say, I'll say, oh, this thing came up or this hard situation or this problem is happening. And he goes, I gave the day to the Holy Spirit this morning when I got up. And for some reason, it makes me feel better because I'm like, well, he and I are connected. So anything that's happening with me is probably happening with him. So if I know that he's given it over, then I can give it over and it feels more balanced if yours feels more easy. I don't know. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So Morgan, you are saying, what do you think of the and rather than the but? So this is a cool language pattern actually in Ericksonian language patterns for hypnosis. And that is when you have a but, in your You want to learn how to move your butt around, and in more ways than one, but really,
if you really want to shake it,
you really want to shake it up.
Then by George, shake
it. When we have a negative statement, when we have a positive statement, then we put a but behind it, it negates the previous positive statement. So let me give you an example. I'm really feeling great about today, but I know something bad might happen. So if we flip it, we say, I know something bad might happen, but I feel really good about today. I know that good things are coming to me. So you change the but around. And this actually helped somebody that I worked with a long time ago almost reduce his anxiety to almost none just by changing that but. The and is also very effective. And I often remind myself. So sometimes you'll hear me say on sometimes these things, I'll say, so-and-so, but so-and-so, and I'll go, I'm and so-and-so. I think that opens up the permissibility of the experience. And I love that you're bringing that up, Morgan, because the and is so important. And the and is also important in other aspects of spirituality, not just in our cognitive thinking statements, right. Personal statements.
That's right.
Because Todd says you can feel bad and be an empowered healer and practitioner.
Yeah, the more you allow your atonement, like from Course in Miracles and such, the more you're going to have experiences that are not so polarized and in the duality. They're going to be they're going to start melding together more, and you're going to find yourself feeling this side of the coin and this side of the coin. It could be coming up at the same time or same day or whatever. And it's a positive symptom of integration when you have more of that and stuff happening.
Yeah. That one is very interesting because I had learned that, two things can't occupy the same space at the same time. But I think if you are in a multidimensional being, two things absolutely can occupy the same space at the same time. I think Sunny talks about multidimensionality. If you ever check her out, Sunny Dawn Johnston.
Well, you know what? That's awesome and true. But we're in fast changing times, and a solution for that for masters is to eliminate time.
Just get rid of that old time thing.
Yeah, a lot more becomes possible once you eliminate time in here.
In the mind, yeah.
Not an overnight thing.
Yeah, Maureen says, yes, it and feels so much more expansive and possible. Yes. Woo-hoo.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. And we have Eileen. Holy Spirit, be my interpreter.
Yeah.
Yes, Gigi. Hi, Gigi.
Hi, Gigi.
She is awesome. Maria. Hi, Maria. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Gratitude Day. Gratitude to you. All right. Well, what else are we going to talk about? Oh, let's do our cognitive behavioral cards. These are cool. CBT deck. We didn't create these or anything. These are just really good reminder cards. And like I said, it's a cognitive behavioral thing. So it's our be, think, and act for today for our gratitude day. So our B is, let's see, basic meditation. Sit comfortably in a quiet place, set a timer for 3 minutes, allow your eyes to close, bring your attention lightly to the breath, feeling your belly rise and fall with each cycle. When your mind wanders, it is surely be gently brought back to the breath without self-criticism. That's one of the more challenging things is, I'm not doing meditation right. It's like, you can't do it wrong. If you're focusing on your breath in and out, you're doing just fine. And release any expectations of what should happen as you meditate. Simply be with the breath. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And our act today is improve efficiency. Look for ways to reduce perfectionism, like trying to craft the perfect email. Generally, the first 20% of your time and effort provides most of the benefit, while the remaining 80% leads to little improvement. Use this principle today to reduce unnecessary work and invest the remaining time in something that's more important to you. I actually do that with emails often. I'll go through them and then I'll read them again, and then I'll read them again, and I'll read them again. And I'm searching for, am I in any behavior? Am I saying this? Am I saying this well enough? And over the last couple of days, I've just kind of been hitting send. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Boop, fine, boop, fine, boop. Did I give the information? Yes, boop. Yeah. And at first it was a little bit scary because I am such a perfectionist in that way, that I had to go, okay, I'm going to go a little bit hard against the grain and see how that feels.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's good. Challenging yourself.
Yeah. Shifting your comparisons is our think for today. Notice today when you're comparing yourself favorably to others' good fortune and success. These comparisons are often painful and trigger feelings of envy or inadequacy. Then expand the frame. Who is worse off than you? What do you have, or what have you accomplished that others might admire, even envy? What happens emotionally when you make this mental shift? I don't know how I feel about this card, actually, because that's still comparing. It's then making yourself better then. So I think we need to take a look at that one.
Not a course student.
Not a course student here. Notice today when you're comparing yourself unfairly. Now I'm comparing them to not being a course student. Mm-hmm. So instead, we can just go, okay, where have I made myself better than or less than another person? And
where am I making myself special, or where am I making them special? Am I making them better or worse, mm-hmm. less than or greater than, or am I making myself greater than or less than?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. I don't know if you wanted to say more about that.
No,
you're great.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interject.
I wanted you to.
That was it. Yeah.
Okay, that was it. That to me is can be a really hard thing. It's a little tricky and a little insidious too.
Specialness absolutely is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we want to. The whole point of, yeah. Specialness is insidious. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the ego is always trying to get us to edge God out. Mm-hmm. However it can, mm-hmm. make an identity out of something. It can't just be about the consciousness. It has to be about how we use it to make ourselves special. And it's pays big dividends to create and become aware of what the ego is trying to pull.
Yeah.
So that we're just less subject to its stuff.
Yeah. Hi, Ginger.
Ginger.
Hi, Ginger. Maria says, yes, happy gratitude day. Ginger says, happy, grateful to have all I have and great family and friends day. Yes. Yay. And then, oh my gosh, Marlene.
Oh my goodness.
It's so good to see
Hi,
you.
Marlene.
Happy gratitude day. You too. Giant beanbag hugs.
Beanbag hugs. Oh, good memories.
Oh, she is the best holder hugger ever. Oh, we love you, Marlene. And Ginger says, hello to you beautiful two souls. Two beautiful souls. Oh my gosh. We were like, wait, is anybody gonna even come on? It's Thanksgiving.
That's what you think when it comes to holidays, but then people are out of their normal routines mm-hmm. also. And then it's like, or they're in transit, or maybe they're looking for something to do, or they're
we're kind of bored. Let's see what time you're doing.
Well,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, so it's a wonderful gift to see people that we don't normally see.
Yeah. Hi. Tell us your gratitudes. What are your gratitudes?
What are your gratitudes?
Today? Put it in your comments. We want to see you.
What are you thankful for?
What are you thankful for? Yeah. Just making enchiladas and tacos.
Oh man, I am
Thanksgiving
thankful.
Tacos.
I'm thankful that you're doing that because that sounds delicious.
We'll be there in a minute.
Yeah.
Give us about a half an hour.
That sounds perfect.
That sounds delicious.
I love tacos.
Tacos are great.
Enchiladas too.
Enchiladas are good. Yeah. Oh, well, come on over.
Come
Ginger
on
says.
over.
So Todd and I have been talking about this book. We have it on Audible, but I went ahead and got it on paperback. The Presence Process by Michael Brown. It's actually a really hefty book here.
Yeah, I thought it would be thinner, but it's
smaller,
thick.
but it's actually really good. And I mean, in between this book cover here is a lot of good information. Book cover. Ooh, let's see. Morgan says, my oldest child just got home from the hospital last night and we're all together today.
Yay.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that, Morgan. Marlene says, vegan succotash dish done and acorn squash soup.
People are cooking. Things are cooking today.
What are your gratitudes?
CJ Fuller.
CJ. Hi,
CJ. Happy Thanksgiving, CJ.
Hi. We're going to put it on video here. This is my favorite nephew. Just kidding. I love all of our nieces and nephews. Special. We want to make you special, CJ. What are you thankful for?
Well, I'm thankful for you and thankful for our businesses and all the wonderful people we get to serve and interact with and help them to make their dreams come true.
Yeah.
Publishing their books, becoming certified hypnotherapists with our new business, hypnotherapieschool.net. And
put that in
the comments there. Recall. I am thankful for beautiful weather in Arizona, moderate temperatures, and it's always sunny. Thankful for our doggies. Yeah, lots of good things.
Yeah.
Thankful. Lest we not forget, thankful that I have the flexibility to work and play when I want to.
Yes.
Having a business.
Yep. Was it yesterday we had the overcast day?
I think it was a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
We had a rare overcast day, and that's and then I went outside hiking.
Yeah.
Because it was rare.
So nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a long chat with a good friend.
Yeah. It's good stuff. Yep. It's different here in Arizona than anywhere else in the world. Yeah. I feel like, because, when we're walking around outside, we don't have the trees changing colors or
we don't have seasons
or anything like that. And if we have, like, the leaves do fall from time to time off the trees and we're walking around, it's like, we're stepping on leaves, because otherwise it's just concrete.
Yeah.
And rocks.
Yeah.
So it's such a different experience.
Yeah. If you hear a crunch, you dance around like a 5-year-old.
If you see a puddle, you jump in it.
Oh, if I see a puddle, I pull over. And at least point it out and say, "Ooh, look at that!
Look at that puddle!
Look at that puddle!
The ground is wet.
It's wet over there. It's wet." And obviously, if you get out of the valley and go upstate, there are more puddles.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot of trees in Arizona.
Yeah, there is.
Because the whole state goes from 1,000 feet above sea level to like 7,700 feet.
Yeah, it's a big.
And there's a ton of trees in Arizona once you go higher.
Yeah. All right. Grateful for not cooking today and visiting family locally.
Yay!
Nice.
Sometimes the best gift is giving yourself the gift of not doing what you would normally do.
Yes, that's right. We're trying to decide on what we want to do for today, but I also feel pretty relaxed I
love not having to do anything in particular and just being able to follow the intuitive nudges of whatever it is. There are different things that kind of pop up like, "Ooh, I could do this. Ooh, I could do that."
Right.
And it's fun to just be able to allow yourself to play in that and feel into those potentials until one of them kind of bubbles up maybe more than the others. And it's like, "Oh, let's do this."
Yeah. Like even doing this, we weren't sure if we were going to come on or not, but we just felt like he and I both just kind of got up at the same time and just were like, this is happening.
Marched over here and the lights turned on and
here we are.
Saying
And
Happy
here
Thanksgiving.
you are. And I'm so happy.
This has been so cool. We get to see all these people.
I know.
The who we don't normally see. And
I know. It's so good.
I'm thankful for that.
I'm thankful for that.
Yeah.
I'm thankful for you.
Thankful for you.
Yeah. I'm thankful for our dogs, Honey and Jack, and I'm grateful for our apartment. I'm grateful for, oh my gosh, you guys have got to look this up. And if I find it, I'll pop it on here. But there is this little girl on a YouTube video. It was like from 10 years ago or something. She's probably grown up now, but she goes, I love everything good. And she's standing on her sink in her bathroom. And I'm like, okay, first of all, this little girl is up and she's dancing and going crazy. I love everything good. I love my hair. I love my mom. I love my house. I love the whole house. It's adorable. So if you want like an energy boost, if you're feeling in the dumps, just I'll pop that on here as soon as I can find it. So let's see. Eileen says, just downloaded Audible book. Thanks for resources, vitamins K and T. You're welcome.
And she's talking about this book.
Was it that
probably.
book?
Yeah.
I want to flip to a page and like see if there's something that comes out.
Okay. It's a good page.
Possibility.
Bang.
Bang.
Look at that.
Look at that. Just one word, guys. Possibility. Let's see. Ooh, that's pretty cool. We enjoy solitude. We sense events before they occur. We experience synchronicity in the events of life. We experience greater abundance.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about any one of these four things?
No, I'm good. I mean, they're kind of isolated.
Yeah, I know.
Just there's not much. Presence knows no order of difficulty. Yeah, maybe more general is better than highly specific. Just maybe something. Just saying that this book is phenomenal, and we highly recommend it. And it's been one of the most important, truly transformational books ever. We highly recommend it. We've been recommending it in our other episodes, and we've had the audio book, and we've been doing it on Audible, but we just got a hard copy of it, and it's pretty beefy.
It is, yeah. So Eileen says, possibility, bang, looking forward to this book. CJ said, the best part is all of it. It's true.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's that book.
Yeah, it's good. Eileen, you're going to like it.
Yeah.
It's very transformational.
Yeah. And feel free that when we do these lives to come on and talk about your experience with it, just type in the comments.
Please do. Please do. Because there's a lot we can comment on.
We can share. Yeah. Ginger says, thank you for the book. Oh yeah. Cause we sent her the copy of the Acceptance Guidebook.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're very welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right.
I think I'll grab that one too.
Okay.
Is it here?
Yep. Oh, yep. 10-year anniversary edition.
10-year anniversary edition. This is my book. I wrote it. My first one I ever published. It is available on Amazon. Yeah, it's good. If you like, it's Reflections on A Course in Miracles. Yeah.
Yep.
You're welcome, Ginger.
You're the best, Ginger.
Okay. Anybody else thankful for anything?
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to say? Cards?
Sure.
Anything like that?
You want to do these? You want to do let's do a Belief Buster?
Belief Buster.
These cards, by the way, I don't think you can get them anymore, but they're salad. I know it's a word salad is where that comes from. But action, who, which, what specifically?
Very specific.
Yeah. Yeah. And it has here. You want to try a new one? See, we're unscripted, so we're not really following any particular order of things. Oh.
Blank for what purpose? Sometimes when you ask people what they want, they say whatever the opposite of their perceived limitation is. I can't do public speaking. I don't have confidence. I don't have self-confidence. So what is it that you do want? Confidence. While that makes sense on one level, it actually reinforces the pattern of limitation. Direct their attention to the larger outcome and purpose. Speak in public for what purpose? So I can reach people and wake them up to how amazing they are. What is the larger purpose that the limitation has been preventing them from fulfilling until now? Nice.
Yeah. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to have? And what's the purpose? What do you want? What's the purpose of having it? Because that gets into our why. And that helps us to stay on target and stay focused on what it is that we're wanting to achieve. Often when we worked with clients in the past, we would ask them, what do you want? And they would tell us all the things they don't want. And then we say, but what do you want? And then they would tell us what they actually want. Let's flip it around. What is the opposite of that thing that you're not wanting anymore? And then they would get more clear. And the clearer they got, the more they could put those wedges into their old belief systems and old limitations. We often tend to argue for our limitation. This didn't happen for me. That didn't happen for me. This person didn't show up for me. All these kinds of things. And if we take a step back and go, where is it going right? We can make a big change, a big shift in our awareness and start creating really good things.
Agreed. Well said. Do any of you work with clients already? Comment. It really does matter, no matter what you're doing. If it's coaching or hypnotherapy, intake assessments or whatever, it's really the language you use and learning how to redirect people is really a potent skill, because it's the crux of getting that mind into a resourceful state so that they can experience better results with whatever you're going to be offering them.
Mm-hmm. Yep. You got it. Anything else you'd like to talk about or say?
I mean, you could throw a topic out and I could just roll on it if you're wanting to build some momentum in any particular direction.
That's why I was using the presence process.
Yeah, I didn't feel anything strongly to say about those things at the moment, but I mean, we definitely could if we dug in.
Yeah, yeah.
Here. Let's see.
That's kind of how.
What is it about this that you're drawn to mention?
Well, I know that within here, there's a ton of information. You could go on your phone. Todd does this thing where he takes notes on his phone of the different pieces that strike him or pull him to awareness, and it helps to get clarity in the moment if he's going through something or experiencing something.
Yeah, I just remember truth statements, essentially affirmations, things that stand out.
Mm-hmm.
Got the 10th edition on Kindle. Thanks for sharing. Yay! Thanks for your support. All right, here's what I got. I'm just picking out a random page, and I have talked about this on previous episodes. If you have participated in previous episodes of our Unscripted, you will have heard me talk about this very thing. Are you ready? Are you ready? Reaction versus response, which is a really big benefit that you get from doing the presence process. A reaction is unconscious behavior in which our energy is directed outward into the world in an attempt to defend ourselves or attack another. A reaction is drama played out in an effort to sedate and control the cause of our upsetting experience. The theme of all reactive behavior is blame and revenge. When we react, we do something about what we perceive is happening to us. And this is the ego essentially going into behavior. If we use this in real love terms, when we're seeking praise, power, pleasure, and safety through the behaviors of attacking, lying, acting like a victim, clinging, or running. And then a response, as opposed to reaction, a response is a conscious choice. Not a reaction is unconscious behavior. A response is conscious choice to contain and constructively internalize the surfacing energy with the intent of using it to integrate unconsciousness. The theme of responsive behavior is responsibility. We respond by unconditionally feeling the emotional state unfolding within us without projecting it outward onto others. Bam!
That's a big one.
That's a big one. That's juicy. That's a big, juicy one. Yeah, and I'll just add that the presence process really helps you to increase that gap between our reactive behavior and our ability to respond, because it helps to integrate that our unintegrated emotional charge, which is essentially the parent tapes and the things that we've been carrying around with us. And when we get triggered in whatever way is unique to your programming, we go into behavior about. So love you, Ginger. So it's nice to be more responsive as opposed to reactive. I mean, I mean, can you imagine the number of ways your life will improve by being more responsive as opposed to reactive?
Mhm.
Not only with potential altercations or challenges and such, but with just like eliminating the internal fight you might have with yourselves, reducing that. And when there's less fight going on or less self-criticism and things like that happening, then you have more of your energy freed up, because it's not being directed so much inward to defending those illusions that were previously there, right?
Right.
If we're really in an internal fight with ourselves, where we're walking around and self-criticizing and projecting that criticism onto others, blah blah blah. You've been like that, I'm sure, at times. I have, absolutely.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you've noticed it when other people are in those states, and how chronic are those states? Are they really, are people walking around constantly triggered and just projecting, or what have you? So a book like The Presence Process helps to, when you do the presence process, which is the 10-week breathing, that really gets you to increase that gap so that you become less reactive, more responsive, among many other benefits, by the way. But that one is really one of the tangible benefits. And if you're a alternative holistic practitioner, or you plan to be one, or hypnotherapist or what have you, I mean, being able to broadcast calm and stay in a responsive, resourceful state makes you that much better of a practitioner.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That projection piece, I have to do that with myself often. Is I question, if I'm feeling a feeling that is uncomfortable, unhealthy, unresourceful, I have to go. At first question is, I'm like, is this me? Is this me? Am I projecting? Am I making this person responsible for my happiness in some way? Am I having an expectation of them to do something or be something different? And also where do I feel those feelings on a day-to-day basis? Have I been that way, whatever I'm seeing or experiencing from them or in them? Have I done that before? Usually the answer is yes. And then I go, okay, well, can I take better responsibility for that? Probably. And then it opens up the possibility for allowing an opportunity of releasing them from my belief system.
Another good thing for the presence process, really simple, easy thing to remember. I forget which week it shows up in the book, but dismiss the messenger. When you get triggered, dismiss the messenger. Receive the message, feel unconditionally, which is awesome, because if you spot it, you got it. So anything that triggers you externally is a wound, is an unintegrated emotion. So if you make it not about that person, And just remember that they're the messenger. They're your savior because they're helping you to bring up that thing that you're needing to integrate still. And then you get to breathe on it and do that breathing integrative process. And magic happens in your psychology at a very real level, physical level. So in time, it makes a massive difference.
It does. It makes a huge difference. Yeah, responding has a different feeling to it as well. You just feel more relaxed. You feel more at ease, more peaceful, and it can come off to other people that are in that reactionary kind of experience.
Yeah,
it can come off to them as you being lackadaisical or not caring or dismissing, and then you get to see their reactions to your responding.
Yeah,
which is interesting too, because you watch them projecting their ego out at you, and this whole process becomes very slippery. People can't get their hooks in as easily, because then you just become the observer more so than ever, observing the psychology being played out, and it becomes a more loving experience, honestly, between the two of you, because you can then go, okay, I can see what's happening here, and I can see why they would feel bad or feel uncomfortable or feel unhappy about the situation they find themselves in. I can't be different. I can't do it differently. But I'm just in this place of responding, and they can react however they want, and I can be a loving component in that. But otherwise, if I just reacted off of their reactions and it just went back and forth, then eventually it would become very toxic, and very explosive in some cases. But taking a moment, also stepping away, talking to someone, telling your truth about what you're experiencing in it and what matters the most to you in it. Because if this person matters to you in your life, then you want to have a responding type situation. What I've also noticed is that the more you respond, the more they start to respond, and they'll start to act in kind. If this is a good relationship that's meant to continue and meant to be a lifelong kind of thing, the good energy of being in that responsive place and being unconditionally loving and being kind will continue to ramp up. But if they continue to stay in that place where they're just reacting, then it becomes more challenging.
Yeah, then that goes from taking it from the special relationship to the holy relationship over time, over years, to where people start, they come together because they have similar reactions to their programming. But then what happens is that things can transform as we start to take responsibility, and therefore we become responsible. We have more responsibility, and then it transforms into the holy relationship, and people keep choosing the relationship and the growth over the reactions, and I think that's when you can build something. You're in a position to actually build something, as opposed to trading or making it about assets or anything like that. So but really having a foundation of love based on choosing and creating that holy relationship, admitting to what our cons are when we're in our ego, practicing telling the truth, like Kira said, using the real love system, for example. And you can't, what does real love say? You can't, you can only get love to the extent that you're willing to tell your truth, because you're not protecting, you're being transparent. And there's a right and wrong way to tell your truth, and you probably don't know how to do it. If you're in behavior, you won't know how to do it
in this system. In
the real love system. You can only get love to the extent that you're willing to tell your truth, and you can only tell your truth to the extent that you feel lovable, right? Mm-hmm. So if you can imagine how shut down and unavailable, unaccessible love we might make love to ourselves, depending on how much we are protecting or getting, right? Mm-hmm. If I'm constantly trying to get from someone, praise, power, pleasure, or safety, and that person's trying to love me, but I'm in a constant getting behavior, well, I'm not going to ever feel loved.
Right.
I'm just going to be appeasing that getting behavior from my ego, right?
Mhm.
Real love talks about it in terms of the drowning victim. If someone's in behaviors, they're splashing in a pool, it's kind of an involuntary response to, when you're drowning.
Yep.
And if you try to jump in the pool with a drowning victim, then they're just going to pull you down with them.
Mhm.
So taking responsibility would be a different scenario in that regard,
Mhm.
truth telling and whatnot.
Yeah. It's stepping out of it. To me, it's stepping out of the situation and saying, okay, what am I trying to do? What am I trying to get here? Because you can only do you. You can only do you. They are going to do them, and they're going to do it based, whatever your perception of what it is that they're doing, it doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you're doing. And then you might have to do that self-preservation piece where you step away from the relationship altogether. Because it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to you. It doesn't feel right to you. And that is perfectly okay. And when we look at things like holidays and things like that are coming up, we want to make sure we stay in a mindset of gratitude and love the people that are open to receiving that love and being kind to people who don't see things eye to eye, and allowing ourselves to feel those feelings as they come up. Nothing can trigger us like family. Because they know us, they know us. They know
how to
then.
push your buttons.
Yeah, they know us from back then.
Yeah,
from back when. They know us, and a lot of times it's hard for people to see us differently than where they saw us in the beginning, and that is actually a very common psychological thing. If you have
It's
a perception, if you have a perception of someone when you first meet them, you expect them to basically be the same indefinitely. But we change, we grow, we adjust, we allow, we live, we have new experiences, we do all kinds of stuff. And so, we grow, and we have to be allowed to not only let ourselves grow and be different, but also to see that they've probably grown as well, and what good things can come from that. So it's interesting.
Yeah. Practice not seeing the past. It's a challenge, and the best way to do that, to sort of command that, or invite that in from other people, is to practice giving it. Practice seeing someone as they are now and not as who they were then, because if it's a past thing, then it's probably it could end up being a behavior. It's not present, right? The ego wants us to stay in the past or the future, and that's where it seeks its safety. But being present, and it can be hard at first, is just about responding to what's happening, right now. And great point, because this is all relevant to seeing family and things like that.
Yeah.
And
practicing responding instead of reacting to different things that come up.
Right. And you love people at minimum if you practice not going into behavior around them. Like if you're triggered, pull away. Pull away if you can, and do some breathing. And you'll find some empowerment in that. It's definitely better than the alternative, which is getting pulled into passive aggressive conversation or an outright argument or whatever. You're in a room full of people, and half of them probably don't want to be there anyway. So
well, it depends on the family. Some families are very close, and they really want that experience.
Some are. Yeah, it depends. But usually there's a lot of obligation that surrounds the holidays, and if you're spending it with people who you want to be with and people who want to be with you, no matter what that looks like from year to year, if you're following your intuitive nudges, that may change, and that's okay. And letting that be okay is self-love, because you're allowing yourself to have your truthful or organic choice, without sacrificing your own happiness. My coach used to say, never, ever, ever, ever do anything you do not want to do. If you want to if you want to even get to the starting line to be able to feel lovable and worthy, you've got to start making choices that are based on what you want. Otherwise, you're never strengthening the muscle to head in the direction that you're truly wanting to go in. You know, if you're people like to talk about their purpose and things like this, and I want to do this, my goals. Well, that's great and that's good, but also look at all the choices that you may be making that are in contradiction to a direction that you might be wanting to go, because they're based in self-sacrifice, you know. Doing something you really don't want to. Now, if you have obligations or responsibilities, I understand, of course, but especially if they're elective things, start practicing making the choices that you want to make. And I know it can be very difficult with some of the harder things, but start with the easy things. You know, start where it doesn't matter. Start where it may not involve other people, that you don't have to address relationship dynamics or what people or people's expectations and things like that. And that's how you take those baby steps and start building up that self-love muscle, so that you're sending the message to yourself that I am worthy enough to make my own choices. I would love myself enough to make my own choices, to make choices for myself. And I bet you, when I'm saying this, there's a chance that something might be coming up and saying, "Ooh, I don't know if that's okay. I'm obligated, or I feel guilty, or whatever." And depending on the region you grew up, that can be a stronger or a lesser influence in the family dynamics and such. So different things to keep in mind, be aware of, and stay responsive as opposed to reactive. And I think that I see why we were led in that direction today, responsive versus reactive, because this is a family day.
Right.
This is a family day. So yeah, I remember how many. Lots of. I remember that. Yeah, that used to be a bigger theme than it is now. But yes, we have our classrooms, and we get to use them, because they remember everything happens for us, not to us, and we get to decide if we're going to allow ourselves to ascend and show up more loving for ourselves and others by practicing, sometimes making those tough choices, and really realizing what is loving to self and what is not loving to self, and you may have to redefine some of those terms, because what we think is loving to self may not really feel that loving to self or others, and we've talked about that on previous episodes and things, but it's a whole new world once you start practicing some of these different ideas.
It's a great thing. It's not always easy at first, but then as you do it more and more, you start owning your own energy, and you start, going, okay, is this in alignment with me? And if it's not, it doesn't have to be for any particular reason. It can just be like, this doesn't feel right to me. And that's good enough. That is good enough. Now, if you are in a situation right now, today, or going forward in the holidays, where you feel like, some of that choice is getting taken away, talk to somebody, get somebody's thoughts and opinions, and, and connect and get loved and get, honor yourself in that, because it's really, I think it's one of the most important things that we can do to, as we're on that journey of self-love, to connect and say, does this make sense? Does that make sense? Is this good? Is this serving me? Is this not serving me? It can be really helpful.
And sometimes you can find that a person in a family or an extended family, because it's a holiday, that you might not have expected to connect with, and find that, wow, I can really talk to this person.
Yeah,
and
that's always fun.
I can really join, and it's okay to test out different people and try having conversations that are a little bit outside of the norm. Of course, you don't want to scare anyone or threaten anyone in any way, but just see how they respond. Do they light up?
I want to find out how you feel about these things.
Finger pointing will definitely scare people.
Right.
Yeah. So
there was actually an article recently I read that talked about people with high EQ avoid small talk. They want to know those deeper things, and that is actually a good thing for you to practice increasing your EQ, emotional intelligence, by going a little bit deeper. And and asking, what brings you joy, what makes you happy,
What do you love?
what do you love,
What do you enjoy doing?
What lights your fire, what sparks you. That is actually a really good question. Whenever I meet somebody new, usually I'll ask them that question if we're going to dinner or something, and I'll say, what brings you joy, what makes you happy? Because I'm not interested in small talk. I don't care about the weather,
I mean, there's not much to say once you get past a couple of points about the weather.
Right. And then you're just eating, and then you go home, and it was just kind of a feeling of, okay, we came together, and then now we are separate. But when you ask those kind of positive questions, you can get some really good information, and then it can be really fun. Yeah. And once you start that, or you open that up with someone, even if they're a different personality type than you or any of that kind of stuff, once you open that door, they can oftentimes come to you. They feel safe with you. They feel safe to express with you.
You'd be amazed.
It's a really lovely thing to be in a family dynamic where you're asking these questions that you've never known the answer to before. And then suddenly you've gotten to know this person at a much deeper level than you ever thought possible.
And life isn't about going from one event to the next without expressing or questioning anything. It's about having experiences at those events and digging into the present moment when we have experiences, whatever the events may be, And trust me, everyone is trying to navigate the family situation today in some way, shape, or form, right? Some love it and they're navigating it, and some maybe don't love it and they're trying to navigate it. But people are they're on their phones and they're doing different things, and they're dealing with this comfort of being in a situation that they're not normally in, especially after the 2020 and all this stuff. So I mean, there are lots of opportunities for connection to explore. It's a whole new ball game. In case you haven't noticed, it's a whole new ball game. I mean, some of your friendships, relationships, family dynamics may have changed considerably in the last 2 years, year and a half, whatever. And that's really cool. And I think it's really great to just reframe things as often as possible, like I'm doing now, and saying, you know what? It doesn't have to be business as usual. It can be, and that's okay, but we don't need it to be anything different. That's when we start getting into behavior. We're not needing it to be different, but we can ask ourselves, hey, can I see this differently? And what questions, what fun things could I share that might be fun or joining, or that feel enjoyable to me, or they might light someone else up. And like we were saying, you'll never know who you might find a conversation with someone, and you're like, oh, I didn't know that you were into that. That's so cool. I'm into that too.
Yeah.
Or what have you.
Let's do it together. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like break out of the autopilot and try different things on, and that you just invite in the Holy Spirit right when you do that, and people all of a sudden, bam, we're out of our past and we're into the present, and new things are developing. Woo! So powerful. So powerful. Yeah. Big or small, let's see. This might be different. This might be, and if it's not, that's okay. But we're just bringing our new hat to the table, and saying, how can I see this differently? Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong, but how can I see this differently? How can this be
even better,
even more better, or even more fun?
More better. Yes. Awesome. Well, I feel complete. Do you feel complete, Tom?
I feel like I could talk for 10 more hours, right? But yeah, I feel like we shared a lot of fun stuff, had some fun, shared some information, and got present with y'all.
Yeah. So happy Gratitude Day to everyone. We are so happy for the connection that we got to receive today, and all the wonderful people who showed up to the video here. And we're so happy that we get to share and do some unscripted stuff and have fun with this. And, You know, it's not polished. It's not, you know, fancy.
It's not perfect.
It's not perfect. We're just getting it out there, and take what you want, leave the rest, and have fun with it. This whole life thing.
This whole life thing.
This
have
whole
fun
life.
with
Have
it.
fun with it. All right. We will talk to you again. I don't know if we're going to do tomorrow. Maybe we'll do tomorrow. Maybe we won't, but probably.
We'll see.
When we will see you guys soon. We'll talk to you later. Happy days.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.